To you once again, glad you're tuned in to Flow 94.9 FM. It is Abia today, and I'll tell you that this particular edition of it is broadcasted on various platforms. So it's a simulcast on Buzz 89.7 FM Abba, Magic 102.1 FM Abba, Pacesetter 103.5 FM Umuahia, and of course, the Broadcasting Corporation of Abia State, 88.1 FM, Umuahia. We do have the Commissioner of Finance in the studio, Honorable Obinna Oriaku, and we've been talking about pensions in the past 28 minutes or thereabout. And he's also told us that he acknowledges the fact that this issue exists, the arrears, but that plans are on the way to ensure that at least 2 months are being paid with what's generated this month of May. And having done so, or if they do that, they will eventually get to conduct a verification exercise to find out who is actually entitled to pensions or not. Well, I'd say identifying the problem is one. Preferring the solution goes a long way, you know, ensuring that this thing is done and dusted. Of course, past week has been very, very busy on social media as regards the issue of payment of salaries, gratuities, and all whatnot. But you did put out an information trying to explain this thing on social media as well, more like, you know, trying to intimate people on why this is so. And you started off with the Hospital Management Board, parastatals. Now, you said that the Abia State teaching hospital are institutions to which the state pays subventions on a monthly basis, and these institutions generate revenue which they are supposed to use for their operations, including payment of salaries and their workers. Countless times on this platform, we've tried to say parastatals are supposed to generate something and government just meets them at some point, but they keep protesting, especially the Hospital Management Board.
Well, we have 15 parastatals in Abia State. Okay. And the picture is as if all the parastatals are being owed in Abia. It's not true. We have 15, and I would like to list out the 15 parastatals. We have Sports Council, we have Library Board, we have EDC under Education, which is Education Development Council or Commission. We have Tourism Board, we have ADP under Agric, we have BCA, we have ABSUT, we have ROASA under Public Utility, we have HMB under Health, we have ABSUT, we have Water Board, we have ASUBE, we have SCMB, we have House Council. Now, these 15 parastatals were being subvented when we came on board. And we discovered, of course, some of them cannot sustain themselves. Okay. And then,
like which one?
Like, of course, Library Board. How many people, those days, people used to go to library to read, and then you pay a token. What defines them is that, one, they are revenue generating. Two, they can employ and also fire. Three, their wage bill or their wage structure is distinct from the not conventional MDAs. And
is it a bit higher?
Fantastic. I remember those days. People lobby to work in a parastatal. The former DJ, I'm sure I'm right. People lobby. People go to prayer houses to be moved to these parastatals. But unfortunately, events of years back have brought these parastatals to their knees. Remember, like I told you, the salary is a bit attractive compared to the other ones. And then if you, from what I have listed here, you find out that about 15 of them, we came on board, we discovered the way they were running, of course, characterized by fraud and everything. We sat down, met with them, got their real wage bill, and now started paying them directly from the AG's office. Instead of issuing a check of maybe 40 million to them to go and pay themselves, we now brought their payroll together and now started paying them. For some of them, not all of them. Okay. Those we still continue to give out funds. Like ABSUT are the ones we are still having issues. HMB, we were also running that same way. Just recently, we thought we've also concluded because we streamlined their wage bill.
But the board was dissolved very recently.
The board was dissolved, but that's not the issue. The issue in HMB was that we discovered that people who should have gone on retirement are still active as security men. At 70 years, 75 years, still working as security men in the hospital. And some other issues we discovered in their payroll. We took over the management of that payroll. We've sanitized it. We're at the verge of moving it back to them so that we'll continue the whole process of issuing a check to them. They will now make up from the IGR. That is what we want to do. But if you look at what I have listed here, the ones we have problem are mainly on health sector and education sector. Health sector, if you also want to go to the root of it, why are we having issues with these people under the health sector? It also goes down to some of the issues we have in interpretation of policy, especially as it affects commerce and conhes.
Which is the salary structure.
Now, at the National Council on Establishment or for Establishment in Abuja, headed by the head of service of the Federation, policies are and the information is reeled out to states on what should guide them in some of these things. It's like Bible. Most times it now depends on the interpretation.
Okay.
You find out where people who are supposed to be enjoying commerce are not are no longer enjoying it. Others, there's total disorientation about the whole thing. That is what has brought us to maybe when we talk about our salaries are higher than what you see in other states. For example, under the commerce, this is a provision they made for those who are working in the hospital because they are prone to risk. Medical, those prone to risk. Now, you see some of them, medical doctors are supposed to be enjoying this. But in Abia here, we discovered that those of them in account section, now say that their salary should also enjoy something. At a time, we also saw a situation where somebody, the gate man, insisted that he should also enjoy the same privilege a medical doctor is enjoying. And one funny reason, they said if somebody with a mad person comes to hospital, that is the security man that will help to hold the man. And so that we should be paying the security man the same thing we pay the medical doctors. These are the issues about it. I'm not here to blackmail anybody, but I'm sure when we took off, these are some of the things we saw and we tried to correct. However, these problems, we discovered them long ago. Solutions we are coming up. No wonder their boards were dissolved. And it goes beyond the board. We're also looking at management. And we are going to reorganize. And besides that, there's also a committee headed by Dr. Ago.
Former Vice Chancellor?
No, that is for education. There's a committee the governor has just set up. They'll be inaugurated within the week. Dr. Ago is there. Mark Hatase is there. Some other people. They are going to be visiting these institutions to sit down with them, find out what the challenges are. Their report will surely be implemented. And I'm sure when we sit down, why it hasn't started is that, for example, Absolute has been on strike, so there's no way that committee will go and bring them back from their homes. We are working hard to bring them back to work so that we sit down, find a sustainable solution. Because we've been going front and back on this. For example, Absolute, when OKZ administration came on board, they were being owed 9 months arrears. They were the major beneficiaries of the bailout. A doctor was going home with about 6 million, 7 million when they called off, and we paid them. And today we are back again, 9 months arrears, towards the end of administration again. So it shows that the same problem is reoccurring. We've not solved the major issue. That is why we want to attack where it's coming from.
Where is it coming from?
Definitely with the report they are going to come up with, the committee will be able to make sure that even when OKZ leaves administration, Absolute will start running effectively.
What can be done to ensure that, the call of the industrial action?
We had earlier engaged them. Last month, we also paid them. They will not tell you. They were paid last month. They collected
1 month salary?
1 month. They collected it and they are still at home. No problem. We said effective this month. We are also going to do 2 months. We expect them to come back to work. And once they come back to work, we now sit down with them. Because, see, whether they like it or not, that school, that hospital is our own and is their own. That is where they will return. That's the reference point where they worked. So it's in our joint interest to make sure that this school come back to life. And then on our part as government, we also will be dedicated and focus on our agreement on what we should be giving them. And then they also on their own should also bring about the changes we require there.
Okay, let's move to the education sector. Let's look at the Ugochukwu Technical Abia State College of Education, Technical, Ugochukwu Aseta. Now, they seem to have the highest number of months old. You don't want to concern yourself with the number of months old, but it's imperative that we just highlight on it a little bit. Now, the explanation you gave to that effect is the population of students and the staff strength. You just oppose them together in your explanation. 430 staff strength compared to a school population of 500. What can be done to ensure that you marry this thing together? Would you say that government doesn't have the political will to do what needs to be done in that regard?
Well, it's not the political will, but I'm happy with the outcry. I'm happy with what has happened since last week. We take the positive out of it. The positive is that the government will now move on to do those radical things. And I also want to believe that when this thing starts coming, we get the needed support from the public and from the media.
And okay, you don't expect people to complain about it.
Now, like I told you, a committee, it's unfortunate that we are forced to read out the names of members of that committee before they're inaugurated. Professor Mpa is leading that onslaught because he has a background in education. The report of that committee will guide the government in decisions they're going to take on these institutions that are listed here.
Okay, so let's see how that goes. The committee, whose membership includes Professor Mpa, former Vice Chancellor, would review the operations of the school with a view to making it operate optimally. We also hope to include the institution's 2-month salary per month template just to ensure that settles it. That's according to that information you put out there. It wouldn't be wise if we move on without talking a bit about Abia Poly. Senator Theoji had moved a motion to ensure that it moves, the institution is upgraded to a federal institution. Now, would you say that will go a long way in ensuring that that burden is lifted off the state government, and possibly for the development of the school generally? Well,
that's the dilemma we have found ourselves as a government. I remember when the committee report came out, we wanted, the governor wanted to implement that committee report.
Which of
course will restructure that school. Currently, yes, we have seen some positives from what is currently going on. We've had, like I stated there, we had relative academic peace in that institution. Their collections now have been streamlined under the school portal. It's not. We had a situation where lecturers were coming during exam hall and collecting cash from students. Those things are no longer there. Within the last 2-3 months, they've also been able to use their internally generated revenue to pay their 2-month salary. Those things are commendable. They've also been able to relaunch that school back to TED Fund portal. For 7 years, that school was blacklisted. Because of what happened with the TED Fund project. Today, they've relaunched themselves and work is currently going on at the permanent site. We're excited about that. But beyond that, they're heavily burdened with huge wage bill of about 170 million. I've explained it here that with the population of Abia Poly, they can only be able to pay 4 months' salary. If the state is religious with their 90 million monthly, they can only pay 10 months' salary. So it's a fundamental problem. What do we need to do? Grow the student population, restructure your wage bill. The student population, we have seen them because currently now they've introduced new courses into that school that will serve as sweetener for people that want to join. Now, addressing the issues, we can't continue running the same way and expect different results. We can't have 85 security men in a gated institution. This was when the school was run like a social service.
85 security men
in a fenced institution. It's absurd. Then you also have those that have issues with their age. Apparently, when you were coming in, you falsified their age because you want to stay more 50 years or you want to stay more 30 years. You discounted where you had worked before. So the report shows that there are some that finished secondary school at 9 years, at 8 years. Finished secondary school at 9 years. So these are the people that are involved in that report. And the governor has just signed it, has just okayed it for ESCO presentation. And once ESCO ratifies it, that will go on. And we also solicit your support because most people keep saying, hey, you guys don't have balls under you. You don't have the political will. You don't have what it takes to bring about changes. We are going ahead addressing those issues. We only reassure you that the committee report, I want to believe, is very fair to everybody. It's not a state government report. It is the report that had earlier been generated from that institution, which we are just implementing. And that will bring down their wage bill, I want to believe. And then make the place a bit responsive and it becomes sustainable, that month in, month out, the salaries we pay to the workers, and that will discourage people, discourage the incident strike we see there, so that there'll be relative academic peace, and the students will go back again. Remember, this school used to have 26,000 student population. Today it's gone down. The new management is just trying to grow it now. They're about 13,000. We want to believe that with what they're doing now, they will grow better, in the years ahead.
All right, let's go beyond this just a little bit and see the possibility of paying the new minimum wage. Apart from payment of salaries, arrears, pensions, and gratuities, can Abia State government keep up with the new minimum wage salary structure being proposed by the federal government? And of course, NLC, Nigeria Labour Congress, are insisting, yes, this thing needs to kick off. We need to start it off as quickly as possible, when we still probably have a bit of a problem, and we've given ourselves, a timeline to sort this out. Is this something that will be jumped into immediately, or would take off when other states are also doing that?
Well, I'm sure at the governor's level they're discussing among themselves, and then we assure Abians that what our colleagues are doing, we are going to do that. We are going to pay the new minimum wage, but there are things we're also going to use the opportunity provided by the new minimum wage to address.
Which are?
It's not going to be like what happened in the past, where those policies were not well understood and implemented, that saw us do what we are doing. Now, remember, it's also instructive to note that while we told the line of Imo was that we call ourselves oil producing state.
Okay.
And then we start comparing ourselves with Rivers State. I was discussing with a former PAMSEC, while we should be paying 624,000 to a particular grade of people. He said, Rivers State is paying 800. How dare you compare yourself with Rivers State with 71 oil wells? You only have 4 functional oil wells. There was a particular month we received 21 million as derivation. How can you start comparing yourself with Akwa Ibom that received 16 billion, 17 billion? So these are the errors of the past that led us to where we are. And we use this opportunity provided by the 30,000 minimum wage to correct it. We are going to align ourselves with what our sister states are doing. Apple for apple, orange for orange. If Enugu, we are going to work with Enugu, Ebonyi, Anambra, it's a regional thing. Forget this oil thing. It hasn't helped us. The figures there are not sustainable. You can't plan with it. Because right now, if there's any oil leakage in your location, in your area, if there's any vandalism in Okwa West, you don't receive that month. So how can you plan with it? And start telling me that Anambra, River State receives, is paying 800. Well, we are going to, just don't misunderstand me, don't misquote me. It's still in the offering, but we are saying that we're going to pay 30,000 minimum wage, but we are going to work together with other states and use it so that when you are comparing, Anambra, Ogwo, Anyinji, you now know we cannot come here again and tell you where we are owing. That has been our problem.
Idea of that.
Yes.
7 minutes before it's 11. It is Abia Today, a special edition of it. We are running a simulcast across 4 other sister radio stations. Broadcasting Corporation of Abia State, right here in the city of Umwa, 88.1 FM. Pace Setter, 103.5 FM, Umwa, Magic 102.1 FM, Aba. Boss, 89.7 FM, Aba. In the studios is the Honorable Commissioner for Finance, Mr.Obinna Oriaku still have Ugochukwu Emezue on the sidelines. My name is Temple Barra. That was on the lighter note. Let's get you involved for the next 3-4 minutes to ask questions. Each question you'll be asking will take 30 seconds, and if you want to make a contribution, we'll allow you 45 seconds, and we're going to be very strict with the timing this time around. Call the number 0808 182 6949, or you call 0811 605 2949. 0808 182 6949, or you call 0811 605 2949. Phone lines are blinking. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name?
My name is Nduka from Zende.
All right, Nduka, go ahead quickly.
I'm a pensioner.
Okay.
Obinna, Mama.
Namogo Chineke gozie ngeden to do that. I didn't hang him no going forward. I know why you want what you want to find out. I appreciate what has gone wrong. I have also started by apologizing for whatever would have led us to maybe allow this get to this level. The government is highly interested in resolving this. We are sure that if already before I walked in here, we have spoken with among ourselves. The accountant general is working out your payment today. It's not because of the after effect of what happened on Friday. It's also because it's also fall out of our own internal financial permutation. So expect a alert any moment from now for those of us both in local government and state. Then we now take it on. All
right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sister Barra.
Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning, Honorable Commissioner for Finance.
Good morning.
Question or contribution?
My senior brother. Good morning, sir.
Question or contribution?
No, a contribution, my brother.
All right, 1 minute. 45 seconds, rather.
I want to recommend the commissioner for what he has really said or this brother. He has two more light on the issue of salary and also pensioners. At least that will now make the civil servants and also the pensioners to sleep with their two eyes closed, having a back of their mind that Abia state government have a bigger plan for them and also for all the pensioners. My honorable commissioner, thank you for clearing all this whole that.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. That one got disconnected. All right, we've got a question from Ogi himself. Honorable Commissioner, what happened to our IGR? Is it only money from federal government that we're using to work in the state?
Yes, IGR from the report for 2018, I think we made about 14 billion, which averages about 1.1 billion for monthly. But that's not where we want to be. We are not there yet. We are still working with the IGR. It's still part of what we are working with. The figures really, on many occasions, we have intervened in salaries through the IGR, and we'll continue to do that. But we also ask for your support as we push ahead in the reforms we are currently doing in the IGR sector. Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Uche.
Question or a reaction?
It's a question and reaction also.
No, question or reaction.
Okay, I want to know, our honorable commissioner said that. I don't know which other state this country is being done.
Is that a question?
Yes. Which other state do we need to form?
Can you ask, please, can you be more constructive in your question? All right, I'll just let you go there.
No, let me also answer him. You know, the perception everybody have is as if Abia is the only state owing pension. It's not true. And River State is owing 12 months. Their criticism has not been as toxic as we have here. Enugu is also owing 3 months. Oyo State is owing about 62 billion of pension and gratuity. We are not saying we are not justifying and trying to benchmark those that are owing. No, that's not what we are saying. But the picture out there is as if this is the worst thing that has ever happened to any state.